Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina, and we are getting ready to start that live stream show. Thanks for tuning in tonight and hanging out with us as we get ready for the live show. We started a little early, and that's always good. Start sooner than later. And we are just about ready to get rolling here, guys. Wanted to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight and joining our live stream show. Shout out to those of you who have sent stars tonight on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube or watching on Instagram, the Facebook stars are just a way for people watching on Facebook to kind of show their support. So periodically we might give people shout outs for sending stars, and it's a huge support and a great way to help us out and continue to do more cool things like these live shows. Thank you, Tim Harris, for those 1,000 stars, buddy. You're the man. And Rick Rogers, too, with 1,000 stars. Appreciate you, man. I did see the comment about the music getting played out. It's getting old. I get it. We were actually in conversation tonight prior to the show starting. We're working on getting licenses for new songs, but it is extremely expensive, like $1,000 to get a decent, well-known song. Even just a few seconds of a decent, well-known song to play prior to the show starting. So we're working on it, but bear with us. Larry White, appreciate those stars, man. Thank you so much. Terry Eakins, what's going on? Brian Robinson, Chad Johnson, Yoshi Cummings, John Quigney, Lindsay Weisner, appreciate you guys. Charlie, what's up, man? Appreciate y'all watching and hanging out tonight and joining us for our live stream show. Want to give a shout out to our friends over at Gator Jim's Tackle. Gator Jim's Tackle at 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. That's exit 16 off I-275 South, right before you get to the Skyway or right after you go over the Skyway. Great place to check out. They have tons and tons of inventory, and if you mention Hubbard's Marina sent you and you have a youth angler with you, they do have free gifts for young anglers if you stop in there and tell them that Hubbard's Marina sent you. So make sure you stop by and see our friends over at Gator Gyms. Also, guys, don't forget to drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, make sure you drop a comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Barry Long, appreciate those stars, my man. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Like it on Facebook. Double tap on Instagram. We appreciate it. And if you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to share the video with your timeline, with your favorite fishing club, whatever. Share it around. We really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. We'd appreciate it. Adam Franklin, appreciate those 500 stars, dude. Thank you so much. If you're watching on Instagram, don't forget you can go over to your phone's browser. Go to Instagram.com and watch through Instagram through your browser. If you're watching through the Instagram app, it's only showing you the very center of the screen. You're not going to see everything in full screen. So if you watch through the browser on your phone at Instagram.com, you can turn your phone sideways and it will show you the full screen. So just want to give you that reminder. Also, if you want to win the free fishing trips we're giving away tonight, we're giving away over $700 in free fishing trips as we do every Sunday night right here on the live stream show. Live. You have to comment one time on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. You have to like the page, comment one time, and if you don't mind, share it too. We'd appreciate it. And then you have to watch the show live. You have to watch the show live, because if you're picked as one of those lucky winners, you have to then claim your free trip within about 5 minutes by texting us your full home address to that phone number right down there. If you're watching on YouTube, Instagram, or any other Facebook page, in order to be eligible to win, you do have to go to Facebook.com, find Hubbard's Marina, comment one time, and then you can watch on the Real Animals Facebook page. You can watch on any Facebook page, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you want, but you have to comment once on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream in order to be eligible to win. Cheyenne Blazak, appreciate those stars. Thank you so much. With that, it is time to get into our photos and show you all what we've been catching. We're going to start, as always, inshore and work our way near shore and offshore. But first, inshore, we've been seeing those black drum. The black drum bite has been pretty steady around our backwaters, the mouths of the bayous, rivers, creeks, around those mangrove shorelines in the back bay, even some local bridges. Fishing the bottom with crustaceans is the best way to target them. Jack crevalle are still moving around out on the flats and in the passes as well. Great area to target those jack crevalle. You'll find them by following those birds and bait. We're also seeing lots of redfish lately around our oyster bars, mangrove shorelines, grass flats, following those big schools of mullet. We're seeing a lot of redfish as of late, and definitely a good time to get out there and score on some redfish during the day. You just got to find those areas where the mullet are moving or the bait's concentrated or that water is moving just right. You'll find some hungry redfish. The residential dock lines are picking up and definitely getting better and better and better for those redfish. As you can see, a lot of redfish have been caught this past week. Also, the sheep's head action is heating up as that water cools down. Definitely a good time to get out in the water and target some of those sheep's head. Fiddler crabs, small live shrimp, barnacles, even cut clams, cut oysters, all great options for those sheep's head. Snook bite has been a little tougher. A lot of calm conditions and good weather have led to clearer water, which have made those snook very leader shy and finicky. But you can find them if you find that right current, that right tide. They have been biting well at select times, but they've been tricky. Our friends over at Salt Strong are on the triple tail. Luke's been cruising a lot of buoys and been finding those triple tail. You just got to really work and keep cruising. They're in lesser and lesser numbers and smaller concentrations, but you're able to find them. Trout bite's been a little tough, but you're working for them, and you can find little pockets of those trout on the edges of the flats, the drop-offs, the cuts. The little sandy patches in the flats are holding the trout. You just got to look around for them, and it takes a little bit of looking and a lot of effort, and you can find some nice trout definitely. And with that, let's see what we're catching near shore. Show you guys what we're seeing near shore. We've been seeing a lot of these big gray snapper or white grunts on our half-day trips and 10-hour all days, some big white grunts. That one's huge. Splash is a very little man, but still. That's a nice gray snapper. That's a nice one, too, with an average-sized human being. And Josh, save me, man. I love Splash. He's a good guy. But
you should see the pictures from the...
he's an easy target.
You should see the pictures from the E-Blast.
Oh,
I found somebody else holding the same fish he was.
He makes fish look big. He has that blessing. We've been seeing a lot of nice hogfish, too. Hogfish have been biting extremely well on our 5-hour half days, 10-hour all days. We've been seeing a lot of hogfish. The hogfish bite's going really well on those live shrimp, 30-pound fluorocarbon, 3 to 4/0 hooks. We're seeing them on the knocker rigs, on the jig head method, the ball jig method, all great options for those hogfish. Really good opportunity to go out and catch fish. And yes, Lisa, Chad, Splash is awesome. He's a great guy. And that's why we love showing him some love on the live show. It's all out of love. Definitely a great hogfish bite, as you guys can see. Just a ton of hogfish caught. 5-hour half day, 10-hour all day, private charter. It doesn't matter. Anywhere from around 30 to about 70 foot of water, we're seeing those hogfish. We even brought a keeper hog in on the 39-hour trip. Some guests went out there using shrimp, brought home a keeper hogfish. So it is hogfish season. There's no season on hogfish, but they're just biting really well right now. And it should only get better as we move into the spring. Captain Frank's favorite time to target them is around March, April. So we have a few long months here of targeting those hogfish. Vicky Armstrong Pool, appreciate those stars. Thank you so much. We're also seeing the gags. The gag grouper fishing's picking up near shore. This was only a half-day private fishing charter on the Flying Hub 2, pulling up a keeper gag. Been seeing them on the Hub private fishing charters. Been seeing a few keeper gags on the 10-hour trip as well. But definitely the big boys are coming up on the Flying Hub 2, on the overnight trips, those longer range, more offshore trips give you a better chance at the bigger fish and more fishing time as well. And as you can see, the big gag grouper have been around. And then scamp grouper, look at this. This is like that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. I forget the name of that. I think they were brothers. They were twins. It was twins, right? That was the name of the movie. When I saw the video or this photo, I tried to edit it so it was like full screen and 3:2 ratio, but you couldn't even do it because it would cut out the client. Good old Richie. Robert Holzhauser, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Scamp grouper have been biting well too, along with those gags. Seeing a lot of scamp out there in deeper water. Great time to get out there and go deep and get some time on the deep blue water. Big mangroves too. This 39-hour trip that came in this morning didn't do as well on the gag grouper. A little slower on the gags, but they caught a lot of big mangroves. We've been seeing them too on our 12-hour extreme trips. And then wanted to show you some of the red grouper we've been catching. Red grouper opened up January 1st. So a lot of people are talking, oh, gag grouper, they end at the end of the year. What are you guys going to do in January? Red grouper. Red grouper, baby. It's going to be a red grouper revenge time come January 1st. The red grouper bite has been really good, and we're really trying hard to avoid them. And we're excited January 1st to be able to start targeting those red grouper heavily on our near shore 10-hour trips, on those 12-hour extreme trips, 39 hours, going hard. This one is a smaller red grouper, but close to shore in shallow water. So even shallow water, even the half day, the 5-hour half day, has been catching a couple keeper-sized red grouper occasionally. So definitely fun targeting the gags and going after them, but when gags close, we still got plenty to catch. Hogfish, red grouper near shore, offshore, red grouper, mangroves, yellowtails. Lane snapper will reopen January 1st and hopefully sooner too, but we've got a lot of fish coming open January 1st, so we're excited about that. And here's a photo of Jack. Jack, my wife, in the background there behind the horse. We went to Largo Park for the little train ride, which is actually pretty cool. I thought it was super lame. When my wife told me about it, I was like, a train in a park? What are we getting into? But it's actually pretty cool. And Jack loves the train, so we go there way too often. And he gets a kick out of it, and he loves Christmas lights. So when we heard the train was doing a Christmas lights special, and it's basically a longer train ride through the park where they have all these Christmas lights set up, my son was pumped. And it was a great time. And they had a Ferris wheel and a, whatever they call this, merry-go-round. What do they call this thing, Josh? I forget. Carousel, that's it. That's the word I was looking for. It's been a very long day, folks, and Jack loved it. He was pumped, as you can see in the photo. And that's all we got for photos tonight, inshore, near shore, and offshore. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the weather, show you guys what's going on weather-wise out there. We definitely got some decent weather this week. We were coming up on a first quarter moon. I think the first quarter moon was today. And we had kind of a system approaching, but it kind of petered out on us, became an occluded front. We were hoping for a really good gag grouper bite this weekend ahead of a cold front. That cold front broke down and became kind of a weak occluded front. And that's why I think the gag grouper fishing was a little softer this weekend, just because we haven't had any bad weather, any big cold front to get those fish chewing and stirred up and excited. So because of that, it was kind of a softer bite this weekend, but it also shows us that we're going to have a little nicer weather this week. Josh has our weather links page pulled up. You can go to hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, scroll down to the weather links to get to this page. We're going to show you the wind finder forecast for the 5 and 10 hour area to start. You can see the winds are higher this week, around 15 knots, some 18, 20 knots, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And that is a high pressure settling into the area. So today was beautiful. Tomorrow's still nice, but it's creeping up on us a little bit, getting a little bit more windy. And then Tuesday, we start to see that more easterly flow, and it starts getting a little bumpy, but not bad near shore. This is the inshore buoy. This is the Egmont Key buoy. It's 16 miles offshore, 16 miles southwest of Johns Pass, and the highest sea height we see on here is 2.6 foot. So it's not even, it's only about 2.5 foot all week. So really doesn't get bad. But Wednesday is the highest winds, calling 15 to 20 knots basically Wednesday. Thursday is still pretty tall, but only around just over 2 foot. So we should be able to get our 5 and 10 hour trips out all week long, no problem. Going to be sunny, blue sky week. We're not going to deal with the fog like we have been, because that high pressure and stronger east wind will get that lower atmospheric layer moving more, so it won't have time to settle up that really thick sea fog. But the east winds cause exponentially more rough conditions offshore. So as I said, on the Egmont Key buoy, the highest sea height we saw all week was only 2.5 foot, basically 2.6 foot. Offshore, the further west you go, the more exponentially rough it gets. So Wednesday, Thursday, they're calling 4.5, almost 5 foot seas. So it definitely gets more bumpy offshore. That's not too rough for our 39-hour trip. Tuesday's 39-hour trip is in no danger whatsoever. We should be able to get out there. 3 to 5 foot is nothing for the big Florida fishermen. So we're going to get out there on our 39-hour trip. Tuesday, the Wednesday 12-hour extreme trip is in a little bit of trouble. Long-range private charters on those smaller boats like the Hub, Flying Hub Tour, are in a little bit of trouble. But our 39 hours definitely going. It's just going to be bumpy. Our 5 and 10-hour trips are only going to see about 2 to 3 foot seas, so they're definitely going. So it's just going to be a little bumpy through the week, but not bad. The dock camera should be up. It's just down during the live show. If it was down today, it was probably just because we had a power glitch this week, and maybe just a little breakdown of communication. But we'll have it up after the live stream show ends. The dock camera will be back live, no problem. It was funny, our staff actually relies on the dock camera so heavily. I overheard them talking about, oh, the dock camera's down. What are we going to do today? I was like, hey, guys, you can let someone know that the dock camera's down. I can fix it. I didn't realize that it had gone down because we had a little power hiccup there around Tuesday morning. One of our battery backups failed, and I had to switch it out. And I thought I did it without disrupting power, and I ended up disrupting power. And Josh, is it up?
Yeah, the dock cam remains up on the website. I just take it off of YouTube so that way we can do our live show, and then right after the live show, it's back on YouTube again.
So the dock camera's totally up. Mm-hmm. It's just off of YouTube right now.
Yeah, so if you just go to hubbardsmarina.com/dockcam, you can get there.
There you go. Paul Floyd, appreciate those stars, my man. So we talked about what's biting now. We showed you guys the photos. We talked a little bit about what's coming up, red grouper and lane snapper. And we talked about the weather. So for now, it's time for our first free trip of the night. It's time to give away let's do a 10-hour all day. We're going to do a 10-hour all day first tonight. That is a $109 value this year. At this time, $109 value. Let's see who won a 10-hour all day for two guests. So it's really a $218 value. And Mark LaFleur, Matt Clapp can fix it. We use Total Plumbing Solutions heavily. Just use Total Plumbing Solutions at my personal home and at our business as well. So even over in Tampa, Total Plumbing Solutions is the Total Plumbing Solution for Hubbard's Marina. Great guy. Matt Clapp is an awesome guy, and his company is even better. So if you need a plumber, shout out to Total Plumbing Solutions for sure. Not a sponsor, just a friend and a great business. So for sure, check him out. Tom Collins. That's hilarious. He won a 10-hour all day for two. You know what? Tom Collins' wife and daughter dropped by my office today and dropped off a huge carrot cake and a pecan pie. So pretty ironic. He randomly won that 10-hour all day for two guests. So shout out to Tom Collins and family for that awesome carrot cake they make, and I'm excited to try their pecan pie. I know their carrot cake's good, but pecan pie I've never had. But how good their carrot cake is, it's got to be a good pecan pie. So congratulations, Tom Collins, and congratulations to Hubbard's Marina staff and family. You get to try that good carrot cake this week because it's not going to last for the Regulars Club Christmas party. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'll be in tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
what time you
stop on by, Josh. Get into that.
I'm going to get me some carrot cake.
I mean, this studio's great. It's quiet. You don't have the phone ringing here. You don't have people coming in for trips. But you miss out on all the great food that gets brought into the marina. Cookie Monday. Shout out to Mel. One of our staff members in the office brings cookies religiously on Mondays. Makes Mondays bearable. Come in hungover from a live show, cookies. Just kidding. I don't go to work hungover. That's not me. Let's see. Moving on. As a remander, if you want a chance to win those free trips that we give away, you do have to comment one time on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. If you're picked as a lucky winner, you do have to text us your full home address to that phone number right there at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you check that out and make sure you write it down or take note, because if you're picked as a lucky winner, you got to claim it by texting us your full home address within 5 minutes to prove you are watching live. And again, Michael Sewell, that is a random name generator. We have no control over it. So carrot cake is awesome, but it did not affect Tom Collins or Chris Collins. Who won?
Tom Collins won. Chris Collins brings the...
I got confused. Tom Collins. My bad, Chris. Yeah, Tom Collins is a different person, not the carrot cake family. I got confused. See, it has been a long day, and it was a good carrot cake. That's embarrassing. My bad, Chris. But Tom Collins is a nice guy, too.
I'm sure Tom Collins makes a good carrot cake as well.
We'll see. Now I expect carrot cake.
Now you must bring carrot cake, Tom. Dum, dum, dum.
I just saw Collins and carrot cake popped in there. Next thing, guys, Daiwa sent us an email today, an exciting email. Our new Daiwa LD60s, the 2-speed LD60 Saltiga is on its way. We're only getting one. We're really getting two, but I'm taking one. So we're only getting one. The LD60 2-speed is coming, and we're very, very, very excited about that. So hopefully we'll get more. And we also ordered the LD40 2-speed. So very excited about that too. So lots of good stuff on the way from Daiwa. So pay close attention. We might get a few special reels, but they go quick because we're only going to get a limited stock, unfortunately. Daiwa's still struggling to get products because everybody wants them.
Wow, sounds like a reason to play hooky.
Yeah, right? No, I do have first right refusal to what comes in from Daiwa. So you guys are going to be even slower, but hey. Temple Reef. We worked out a new deal with Temple Reef, and Temple Reef now supplies rods to Hubbard's Marina. So we have a almost full line of Temple Reef slow pitch rods at Hubbard's Marina in a box, waiting to go up on our new rod racks. We're super excited about that. And don't miss next week's live stream show. We're going to have our buddy Jamin Vereen coming to join us in studio to talk all about these Temple Reef slow pitch rods. We've got, I think, 5 or 6 different Temple Reef rods that are meant strictly for party boat slow pitch jig fishing and charter boat slow pitch jig fishing. So we're excited about that. We're going to get more into the slow pitch jigging thing. So I don't know a lot about it, and I'm going to learn with you guys, and we're going to learn together. And we're going to use guys like Jamin Vereen and James Vereen, his dad, and some other guests that fish with us often who are already really heavily invested in slow pitch jigging to teach us. And we're all going to get smarter together. So looking forward to that. Just a new technique, and we're also going to start some slow pitch jigging trips. So pay attention to that. Some new cool stuff coming in 2022 from Hubbard's Marina. Our Regulars Club signups are open. We are taking new members for 2022. So if you want a chance to win, you want a chance to sign up for our 2022 Regulars Club, we are open for a new membership, and it's right on our website. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com, click the info tab, you can find the Regulars Club information. Click fishing trips, you can find the Regulars Club information. It's right on the website now. Josh made us a new Regulars Club page, so make sure you check that out. And maybe think about joining the Regulars Club. If you fish more than 10, 15, 20 times a year, it's worth signing up for the Regulars Club for sure. All right. With that, let's get into some questions, and let's see what you guys have to ask. Larry Polk said, what's the cost of the 2022 Regulars Club? We actually have the 2022 Regulars Club cost and all the information up on our new Regulars Club page. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, you can scroll down to Regulars Club info, or even the info tab has the Regulars Club info. Starts out with the video, some policies, some etiquette information, and then down here towards the bottom are the 3 different clubs. The lowest level club, the Gray Snapper Club, gives you 30% off the 5 and 10 hour trips, and it's $200 to join. The next level, the mid-level, gives you 40% off the 5 and 10 hour trips. It's $275 to join. And then the top level club, the Florida Fisherman Club, is 50% off, half price, 5 and 10 hour trips, but it's $350 to join. And there are discounts on our long-range specialty trips. There are discounts on our 12-hour extreme trips. There's discounts in the shop. There's other discounts, too, and other benefits of being in the Regulars Club. There is a first-time sign-up fee for new members. There is tax added to the membership fee, and there is a minimum number of trips required to qualify. So you have to commit to doing X number of trips before you can sign up to be a regular. So you really got to pay attention to that stuff. and you really need to be fishing 10, 15, 20 times a year or more to make it financially feasible and worth it to be a regulars. But if you're fishing once a month, if you're fishing twice a month, it makes sense to be a regular. Or if you want to fish once a month or twice a month, it makes sense to be a regular because it makes it more affordable for you to fish more often. And it's an excuse to go fishing because it's like, hey, I paid for this membership. I got to use it. It's a good excuse. Good justification, if you will. Next question, is lane snapper fishing good January through March? Yes, we catch lane snapper pretty much all year long. So great time to get out there and get them is pretty much any time. And we catch them through the cooler months as we target those hogfish for sure. Michael asked, do you have the Temple Reef Nabla rod? I didn't even see that on the Temple Reef order list. I can tell you exactly what Temple Reef rods we have because I've got a list of what I ordered. And I ordered what was suggested by Temple Reef outfitters based on the type of fishing we do, the depth we fished. And no, we are not getting... Oh, the Nabla is the Levitate line. Those are not available yet. You cannot get them yet. So, no, we're not getting them
Tapped
right
Frank
now.
Batchelor
The
or Frank
Levitate
Marina.
line, once they become available, we'll get the Levitate line. But right now, we're getting the Grand Cru, Project X, Elevate, and Innovate. So, Project X, Grand Cru, Elevate, and Innovate. Total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different lines. Captain Frank just called. It rang once, and he hung up. So we're going to call him and get him on the line and talk a little bit about this near shore stuff. Surprise, surprise. Oh. Hey, Frank, hello. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Dill?
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
We're talking slow pitch jig fishing, man. We're getting into slow pitching.
You want me to call back on another subject?
I feel the same. Every time someone asks me about, like, oh, you guys should really carry this, or, oh, you should really look into slow pitch jig fishing, I'm like, I don't know anything about that. But, hey, we're going to try. We're all going to learn together.
Okay, so I did have a couple guys come out there on our last 10-hour that I had never met before. And I kind of casually went up in there and told them, I said, this isn't the right depth for them. Because we were just fishing 60 foot of water for the hogfish.
Yep.
And sure enough, they did fairly decent. They were actually tipping these little slow pitch jigs with pieces of squid, and they were catching more of the gray snappers than anybody else. I was like, okay, well, again, they did. I mean, but did they have a shot at a hogfish? Probably not. I mean, if they could put shrimp on there, I don't think they would have, but they didn't bring any shrimp. But I would have been curious to see it a little bit. I don't think the hogfish are aggressive enough for that. But hey, what my plan is, my plan is here is as soon as they reopen those lanes, I'm going to be popping out to the 80-foot range, and even up to 100, because the red groupers will be back in January 1st. I won't be in the 100 range until the 1st, but up till then, I am going to pop out to 80 foot so we can add the lane snappers. And then the possibility of more mangoes and that kind of thing. I do prefer to fish a little deeper, but right now makes no sense.
Yep.
So right now, the slow pitch jigging to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
But once you start breaking out to the 80 to 100,
And what you're getting at basically is the rule of thumb for slow pitch jigging in general is typically you don't do that until you're in around 100 foot of water or more. That's what the slow pitch jigging guru said, Benny Ortiz, when he was on the show, I think June or July of last year or the year before. And he even said that around 100 foot of water is really the shallowest used slow pitch jig fish. But
I would agree.
James Vereen have been fishing your 10-hour trip. They've been fishing with us for a long time. Even on half days, I've seen them bring their slow pitch jig tackle, and they've been catching some fish with it, even in
They have, and I've seen them. I've seen them catch some really nice kings when we didn't even know there were kings there. You know, and they popped 3 kings in one day or one time, I think, something like that. And
it does work.
You know, I can't say that I haven't been convinced to not have anybody use them, but you know, I'm not convinced enough for me to start using them yet. But you know, once we get out to deeper, I wouldn't do it anyway. I prefer the you know, the sardines and the live bait, but I understand where people, you know, yeah,
and it's expensive, and
that was the thing. The second thing I was getting at, it's expensive. You can afford to lose you know, because where I'm going to be fishing during those deeper, it is extremely rocky, and you know, I could potentially tell some, you know, the people, hey, this is not a spot for them, and this, you know, if you're going to use a slow pitch jig, this, I could go the extra effort. I would, of course, you know, but there are some spots that I wouldn't drop anything but a cheap hook on it, because it's, you know, it's so rocky in some of those spots where we've been fishing on those 10 hours that it's just, you know,
might be worth it. Who knows?
Yeah.
But how has the bite been? You guys have been tearing up those hogfish, huh?
Yeah, we sure have. Our last trip was a little bit slower. I think we only got like 15 keeper hogs, and you know, I'd like to be in the 20 to 25 range. But this time of year, I think that was pretty good. But I think we can do that in the 80-foot range, do the same amount of hogfish, and throw those lanes in the mix. So once we get those lanes back into the box, you know, and then of course you'll see the vermilions as well, and then more strawberries and more mangoes. But until they, you know, the lanes is the majority of it, and we're losing, you know, 150 lanes if we go out that far, and you know, we just, it's pointless. So we're kind of sticking in the 60-foot range, 50, 60. Yeah, I've fished as even just under 50 once or twice, just the first stop of the day, and then we work our way out, and we're pretty much in 60 all day. And I mean, bite's been good. I mean, the people that are fishing for the hogs and you know, and really trying for them are getting them. Of course, they're not all keepers, you know, but you know, we're boating probably, you know, the same amount of keepers as we would the shorties, you know. So it's you know, if we catch 15 keepers, you know, we're seeing 30 to 35 hogfish total, something like that.
Nice, definitely awesome, man. And definitely been seeing a lot of hogfish. Have you guys been catching any gags?
We have been getting 1 or 2 a trip. We don't have a lot of people that are fishing for them. I'm seeing a lot of breakoffs, but you know, when we're in that 60-foot, most of the people are hog fishing, and they're using that 40-pound, and you know, a 24-inch gag grouper acts totally different than a 23-incher, and it's, you know, it's like they know they're fighting for their life when they get 24 inches. I don't know how they know, and they fight 10 times harder, and they rock them up, and they are getting rocked up quite a bit because the gags will eat the shrimp.
Yep.
So, you know, if you're good with it and you can horse them out, I've gotten 3 myself since the season opened, and I was popping down the sardines and pigfish, and that's how I got my 3. And one of them actually came up on a grunt carcass that I had butterflied out and cut all the fins off. So
gray snapper, you mean?
Yeah. What's that?
A gray snapper, you mean, right?
Yeah. A gray snapper. Excuse me. Yeah, not a grunt.
Well, cool. So we're seeing a lot of hogfish, a couple gags, and some of those mangrove snapper.
We're getting a nice handful of the mangoes, and we're going to get a handful more. Like, I think we'll be seeing. We were putting in like 20 in the box, 15 to 20 every trip when we were out there on that 80-foot. But as soon as we had to come in, you know, it was dropping to like 6. You know, that kind of deal. So.
Yeah, and then once we get out there into deeper water, when the lanes open up, we'll have a better chance at those red grouper after the first of the year.
And I would still stick with shrimp, you know.
And you got a chance for some kingfish still. They're still around. They caught 1 kingfish trolling out, still in the crab trap buoys, using a planer and spoon on the 39-hour trip. So they're still around, surprisingly. So maybe we didn't miss the full fall run of those kingfish. So hopefully we'll get some more of them too.
Yeah, we've been popping out some spoons, and you know, you can go right through schools of bait, and I just haven't seen them like in any numbers this year, and even last year was pretty slow as well. But
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean you couldn't, in one stop on a anchor that you could pull 5 of them. You just don't know what's going to happen. I know they're there.
Yeah.
We've got some fish cut off in half and whatnot, and we suspect they weren't kudas, but anything can happen.
Know.
Yep.
Well,
this
I
time of year, you got a shot at
it.
pretty much anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of saltwater fishing, right? You never know
right.
what you're going to catch.
You never know. So.
Appreciate you calling in, Frank. Thanks, buddy.
And you already talked about the weather a little bit with them, because Tuesday and Thursday they both look equally as good. A slight breeze in the morning, but like tapered off to nothing in the afternoon. I looked at both days, and I was like, which day would I tell people to go? And as of right now, they both look great. So.
Yeah. Near shore, that east wind, it's not going to be too bad. So we're excited.
Yeah, right on. Me too.
Yep. So. Let's go get them.
All right, peoples. We'll see you.
All right, man. Thanks, Frank.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye. Oh, well, our man Frank called in, and Eddie got banned. All in one thing. I mean, people are so crazy. $5 dolphin watches as a gift to the community, as a holiday special, and you're going to come on the show and say it's only worth $1.50 and stolen money from the community? It's $5, bro. Shoot. Spend more money at Starbucks on a coffee than getting out on the boat for an hour and a half. How could you be upset with a $5 hour and a half cruise, Josh? I literally don't understand that.
Negative people, that's how.
Like, how can your life be that bad?
If
you're going to complain about a $5 trip. Like, it could suck real bad, and it's $5. Like, hey, man, I was on a boat. Like, hey, yeah, it was fun.
Where else can you get a $5
it doesn't even matter.
Dolphin
like,
watching with dolphins guaranteed?
Yeah.
With concessions, clean bathrooms.
I'll go floating down a Okeechobee during this green algae bloom, You're on a boat.
Give me a boogie board and a bottle. I'm there.
Yeah, for real. Drink.
I don't know.
Beer,
I might get
bro.
seasick on a boogie board. I might just get like ankle deep.
$5 trip. You're gonna complain. What the heck? That is the definition of you can't make everybody happy. Talking about us stolen money from the community. It's a $30 trip. We gave it away for $5. And I'm stealing money from the community, man.
And we give away trips. Anyways.
That's funny.
Moving
You just
on.
gotta laugh at that one.
I can't believe that. You really can't make him happy. We could give him away for free, and
Really
I bet he would
can't make
still.
this stuff up, guys.
I bet if
that
we
just
were
happened.
Yeah, he would still complain.
Josh would get seasick on a boogie board.
Yeah, I body surf, face down.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so let's get back into some more questions. That's cool. You're going to carry some new rods. Are you going to still carry the Bull Bay rods? Yes. As long as Bull Bay can get us rods, we're going to carry them. Harder and harder to get Bull Bay to make us rods, and hopefully we can keep talking them into making us some rods, but that is the goal. Definitely excited to bring in some more of those Bull Bay rods. Best bait for the 10-hour trip, I would use cut thread fin chunks on a double snell with 30-pound fluorocarbon and 4/0 double snells for the mangroves. I'd use a whole thread fin on 40-pound with a single 6/0 hook for the red grouper or gag grouper, depending on if you're fishing before the end of December or after January 1st. And I'd be using around 30-pound fluorocarbon with about a 3 to 4/0 hook and a live shrimp for the hogfish. So those would be my 3 suggestions. Even a live pinfish on that 40, 50-pound test, and a 6/0 hook for the pinfish too, or for the grouper too. Yes, you can buy drinks on the Dolphin Watch. Beer is available. So again, if there's beer involved, how could you have a bad time? That's on you. If you don't have a good time on a $5 trip. Let's see. Next question. bring Captain Pete to the show. Captain Pete has been on the show, and we definitely want to bring more of our captains back. It's just unfortunate that sometimes it's a little bit challenging, tricky in a live show setting just because you don't have a lot of control over what goes on in a live setting. So we're being a little bit more cautious and trying to keep it a little bit more professional. And now we've got sponsors. Shout out to Gator Gyms, Yamaha, and we want to make sure we put our best foot forward. So we are going to bring some more of our captains on, but for now, the phone calls work really well to kind of feature some guests. Next week, we're going to have a guest in studio, our buddy Jamin Vereen from Temple Reef and from our fishing trips, talking all about the slow pitch jig fishing. Paul Floyd, appreciate those 500 stars. Thank you so much. And Jason, I wish I was lit, but I'm just extremely tired. Working on about 14 hours of sleep in the last 3 days, and woke up at 3 a.m. today, worked all day, and then my wife went to the Bucks game, so I had the pleasure of taking care of both of my 2 under 2 children, which was a lot of fun. Shout out to all those mothers out there. I could not do your job. A stay-at-home mom got to be the hardest gig in the world. I run a fairly decent-sized company, and I could not stay at home with my 2 kids. I love them to death, but that is above my pay grade, folks. I don't know how single parents do it. Like, literally every time, even my wife and I are at home together with the 2 kids, I really honestly always think about that in the back of my head. Like, single mothers, single fathers, shout out to you guys. Y'all are miracle workers. You just got to power through, I guess. But it's all worth it. It's all worth it. When I put my son down, and he's been a total pill. He's kind of sick, so he's not himself. He's not listening. Kind of a little bit more crazy than normal. And I put him down to sleep, and he looks at me, and he's like, "I love you, Dad." And he comes up and gives me a hug and a kiss, and it's like, all right, this is why you put up with it. Makes it all worth it, right? But yeah, shout out to all those mothers and fathers out there. It is not easy working all day long, going home and taking care of the kids. So yeah, I'm not lit. I'm just beyond tired. Tired doesn't even define what I am. Fake it till you make it. Josh, is it time to give away another free trip yet?
I believe it is, actually.
I believe it is. I believe so. So let's give away a 5-hour half day for 2 guests. 5-hour half day for 2 guests. Let's see who won a $130 value. Bob Demmel from Virginia Beach. Bob Demmel from Virginia Beach. Congratulations, Bob, on that win. Appreciate you for watching. And don't forget, if you're the lucky winner, you have to claim your free trip by claiming it at the phone number below. You got to text us your home address within 5 minutes to prove you are watching live. So make sure you claim it quickly, Bob, in order to prove you are watching live. So with that, let's get into our next question here. Let's see what our next question is. Yeah, Captain Pete is a good fisherman. I agree for sure. The Bucks won. I think the Bucks won. It went into overtime, which is awesome. I just wanted the game to be short, so my wife got home in time for the live show, and they went into overtime, so that was cool. But shout out to my father-in-law who made tonight's show possible. So luckily my father and mother-in-law are awesome people, and they were able to make the show possible. Christine, appreciate those 99 stars. Thank you so much. Appreciate you for sending those stars. Let's see. What other questions do we have? On the Regulars Club, do you have to start from the bottom level and work your way up? No. You can jump right to the top level club. You just have to commit to the minimum number of trips in the top level club, which is a total of 15 trips in a year. And that is a 39-hour and 44-hour count as 2. So if you're doing 8 39 hours in a year, you would qualify for that top level club. Definitely a good opportunity to save a lot of money and go fishing more often, but you just have to commit to doing some fishing through the year. It's a good problem to have, though. Steven, appreciate those 200 stars, man. Thank you so much. Man, the Bucks game is still on? That's real? How is that even possible? I'm going to get home from the live show. My wife's still not going to be home.
No,
we're going to run out of milk
party
here, folks. This is a problem. I have to get formula on the way home. Kaylee Floyd, appreciate those 500 stars. Thank you so much. Oh, good. The Bucks game's over. Thank you, Adam. I started to panic a little bit. I'm like, we're going to have to end this show. I need to go to the grocery store before it closes. All right, let's see. Yeah, right. Oh, someone asked about giving away free dolphin trips. That's a good idea. We do offer dolphin cruises. I mean, apparently that's super obvious tonight because it's been a little bit of a theme. But we do offer dolphin tours and island trips. We do island trips too, and we do snorkeling. We have sunset cruises. We do private charters as well. A lot of people don't realize we do private charters, but you can do private fishing charters. We have private island trips. You could do offshore signings. You could do ash scatterings, memorial trips, corporate events, team building events. We do a lot of different cool stuff on the water. If you want to do something on the water, we know someone who can do it, or we do it ourselves. Whether it's gator hunting, bow fishing, fly fishing. If we don't do it, our good buddy Mike Anderson at The Real Animals does, or we can call one of our other friends to do it for you. So give us a call. We can make it happen. What is your favorite rig for gags and red grouper? And scamp. So what is your favorite rig for gags and red grouper and also for scamp? My favorite rig, hands down, for grouper, whether it's a gag, red grouper, scamp grouper, it's all the same. A slip egg sinker, a swivel, 4 to 5, maybe 6 foot leader if I'm drifting, and a hook. It's called a fish finder rig or a Carolina rig. Egg sinker, slip egg sinker, swivel, and then about a 4 to 5 foot leader. That's what we are looking for when it comes to rigging up for those grouper. That way it can sit on the bottom. That egg sinker sits on the bottom. The main line slips freely through the egg sinker. The swivel gives that leader plenty of movement as it heads to bottom and prevents tangles. And then that 4 to 5, 6 foot leader stretches out nicely and naturally along the bottom and gives you a supernatural presentation. A knocker rig is a good option, but we only use knocker rigs when the bite is slow because by definition, a knocker rig is fishing the water column. Grouper don't live in the water column. They live on the bottom. They eat on the bottom. You catch them on the bottom. So a knocker rig is really great when the fish are up in the water column. Snapper, pelagics. So knocker rigs work really well when you're targeting hogfish, mangrove snapper, mutton snapper, kingfish, tuna. But for grouper, a knocker rig makes absolutely no sense, in my opinion at least, personally, because you're not fishing the water column. A knocker rig is a 1 ounce lead or less, maybe a 2 ounce lead or less if you're fishing super deep water. But people put a 4 ounce egg sinker and call it a knocker rig. No, that's not a knocker rig because you're not fishing the water column. A knocker rig floats slowly down to bottom, and the egg sinker travels further and further and further from your hook because you're using such a light weight that the hydrodynamic drag of your bait separates the lead from the hook. And as the lead gets further from the hook, the bait even descends more slowly. So you're actually fishing more of the water column. As that bait separates from the lead, it drops more slowly, and you get more time in the water column as it drops to bottom. And that's a knock rig. That's how you fish a knock rig. And that's why it takes a lot of skill to fish a knock rig, because you're fishing the water column. You're not fishing the bottom. So feeling the bite is extremely difficult, and takes a lot of skill and practice. So it's not the best rig for a grouper, since they live on the bottom, and a knocker rig takes a whole heck of a lot longer to get to bottom. The one thing that I do a little different for grouper is you hook the bait maybe a little bit differently. If the bite's really good, I'm always hooking the pinfish or the live bait right up underneath the chin and out the top of the face. But if the bite's a little picky, I might drop down in leader size, and then you start hooking them above the anal fin, tail hooking them as we call it. And that gives you a whole lot more mobility. So when you hook them up underneath the chin and out the top of the face, think about the weight of the hook. So you have your pinfish. If you're hooking them in the front of the pinfish, the weight of the hook is naturally weighting that bait down. So that bait's going to naturally kind of settle on the bottom. But if you're hooking them at the back, the weight of the hook, if you're tail hooking them, is naturally going to want to make that pinfish kind of struggle upwards away from the bottom. So your egg sinker is weighting him to the bottom, and now you've tail hooked him. He's going to struggle away from that egg sinker on the bottom. And all of a sudden he's ringing the dinner bell. So a tail hook is actually a better way to kind of target those grouper, especially when the bite's slow, but it's super, super, super slow to go to bottom because it's not hydrodynamic. That bait's going to bottom in reverse, so it's going to spin, and the pinfish is almost drowning because you're dragging them to bottom from their tail instead of from their face. So it's not hydrodynamic, and it tends to spin. So you actually have to put more pressure on the spool with your thumb, and you actually have to stop it every now and again to let that pinfish kind of catch its breath on the way to bottom, and to prevent it from literally drowning on the way to bottom, and prevent it from getting too tangled up on your main line as well. So you always want to make sure you hook your bait and think about the hydrodynamics of it, because you want it to rock it to bottom as quickly as possible and as straight as possible so it doesn't spin and tangle up your main line. But sometimes when you're tail hooking them because the bite's slow, it's not hydrodynamic, and you got to slow it down or almost stop it to make sure it's not getting tangled on the way to bottom. So there is some thought that goes into it sometimes. Do you ever alter the pinfish by cutting its tail when grouper fishing? Absolutely not. It's a live bait. You're paying for live bait. You're working really hard to bring live bait offshore. So I would never purposefully injure my live bait to make it more attractive to the fish on the bottom, because you're already putting a hook in it. That's plenty injury enough. It's down there struggling on the bottom, trying to pull away from your leader already. Cutting the tail, cutting lines in it, that kind of thing, I think is not helping you at all. If anything, it's making your bait die sooner, and they're already under plenty of stress. Think about a pinfish. It's either trapped, cast netted, or hooked and lined inshore, then brought to the boat, put in a live well, carried 100 miles offshore, then pulled out of a live well with a net, hooked on a hook, and then dropped 100 feet to the bottom. I mean, that thing has been through a lot. So cutting its tail isn't going to make it look any more attractive. If anything, it's going to make it sit on the bottom dead. So I personally don't suggest or recommend modifying the bait at all. But as Phil said, mates don't like tail hooking baits because it causes more tangles. Well, Will's the one who's been suggesting tail hooking the pinfish to get more gag grouper bites. It's 100% a better option to get more bites, but it does cause more tangles if you're not putting more pressure on the spool and dropping that bait down to bottom more slowly, and occasionally just stopping the spool, making sure your lead is caught up to that swivel. So when you tail hook a bait, you have to take 5 times more time to drop it to bottom, because you have to put more pressure on your thumb. You have to drop it to bottom more slowly. And it does cause your bait to spin, which can tangle your main line, and it can tangle your neighbor. So you got to definitely be careful. You don't want to do it in high current situations. You don't want to do it when the boat's swinging real bad. You don't want to do it when you're drift fishing. But if you're anchor fishing, there's no current, the bite's slow, you don't have a lot of people around you, tail hooking the bait works really well as long as you put more pressure on the spool with your thumb and drop it down to bottom more slowly. Let's see, what other questions do we have? I was trying to find. I think we answered all the questions. Look at that. Perfect timing. Right at the end of the show, too. That's awesome. All right, so if you are a supporter, don't forget to join us for our supporters after show, guys. We've got that supporters after show that's going to start at 9:50. So about 20 minutes from now, we're going to start that supporters after show on the supporters private group page. If you want to become a supporter, it's only $5 a month, $4.99. Gives you tons of cool background information, captain and crew schedules, more connection with our captain and crew. And we're actually bribing our captains and crew to join the supporters group. And in the next day or two, you supporters are going to see new website pages. We're going to soft launch them in the supporters group. You guys are going to see them first, get a chance to give us some feedback, and then we're going to launch them. The where to eat, where to drink, where to stay, where to play pages of Hubbard's Marina are launching soon. And we're also going to be launching our Meet the Crew page and our new pirate ship. Stay tuned for the new pirate ship 2022, baby. We're getting a new pirate ship, folks. It's going to be awesome. Next year is going to be real exciting. New boats, new party boats, new dolphin boats, new pirate ships coming to Hubbard's Marina. And pirateshipjohnspass.com. Going to be launching that website soon, too. So stay tuned to pillage the high seas, baby. We'll see you guys next week on another episode of the live show. I know we still got to give away our $400 39-hour trip, so don't freak out, guys. Want to make sure we give another shout out to our friends at Gator Gyms. Appreciate Gator Gyms Tackle for sponsoring the show. 3301 Pinellas Point Drive, South St. Pete, exit 16 on I-275 South. If you haven't checked out Gator Gyms, make sure you do. Also, want to give a shout out to our other sponsors, partners, and friends. The Real Animals Radio Show every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Yours truly is a host next weekend on the Real Animals Radio Show. Hopefully you can join us. Yamaha, shout out to you guys. Appreciate everything you do for Hubbard's Marina. We are fully Yamaha across the fleet. And a new sponsor partner, Garmin. I love my Garmin watches. We're bringing Garmin into our wheelhouses and across our fleet, going fully Garmin. Very excited about that. Bass Pro Shops, Engel Coolers, Salt Strong, Aquatic Nutrition, Sport Fishing Chums, Cleanse Oil, Bull Bay Rods, and our friends over at Salt Strong. I already mentioned them. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to check us out on TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and now the Nextdoor app as well. All 7 of our social medias. Don't forget to check us out, like our pages, follow us, subscribe, double tap, all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us for another episode of the live stream show. Let's find out who won our 39-hour fishing trip. That is a $399 value this year. Remember, prices are going up 10% next year, except for the Dolphin Tour. It's going down in price. And our pirate ship, it's going to be super cheap as well. But for now, let's see who won that 5-hour or that 39-hour fishing trip. $399 value. Let's see who won. Pam Levert. Congratulations from Citrus Springs. Pam Levert, you are the lucky winner of our 39-hour fishing trip. Chris Harwell, yes, we are still doing the free trip for the Hubbard's Marina logo. We've got a couple people. Really, we got one person who did the Hubbard's Marina logo tattoo, but I've got another person who promised they would do it soon. So we've got Hubbard's Marina logos being tattooed on guests, clients, friends, Hubbard's Marina family, and you can do it too. And you get a free trip if it's a visible tattoo. That means like arms, hands, legs, somewhere you can see it visibly under normal circumstances. You get a free trip. If it's a neck, face tattoo, you get more than one free trip. If you get a face tattoo, a couple free trips at least. But I'm talking a big face tattoo, like a Hubbard's Marina logo on your cheek. I'll give you a couple free 39 hours. We'll work that one out. Appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to check out the supporters after show at 9:50. 9:50. I hope to see you guys again soon inside John's Pass at Hubbard's Marina. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. And take advantage of that $5 dolphin cruise. Some people might not like it, but it's going on until December 23rd. Y'all get on it.